Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you. I bring you greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus. I have something that is really bothering me, and you know, it is actually getting out of hands. These guys, these people are taking the world by storm, and there is this disturbing question that have been I've been probing on in my mind. I've always asked, how is it that people who are said to be on the minority, they are less in number, but they are so powerful? Well, anyway, the answer is not far-fetched. Remember that this whole world is lying in the hand of the wicked one. The world is lying in wickedness, and Satan is called the prince of this world. And make no mistake, don't say it doesn't concern you. This is really disturbing. I'd like to welcome you. This video has a lot and enough. And if you actually fear, for the future of, the family life, if I care about the future of the children, then you would give attention to this video. And I would rather implore that you share this video and do as much as you can to make it reach, your friends, your well-wishers. Don't say where you are safe. Nobody is safe anymore with what you're about to see in this video. You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. All right, you are highly welcome. I'd like you to listen to this teacher. They have brought this thing to the classroom, and the target this time are the children. Listen to this LGBTQ plus teacher who was recorded, and I suspected by one of the children he was threatening and scolding in classroom about what they must not do against the people of his type. Please hear him.
And let me make this very clear. You don't have a choice whether or not you learn about LGBTQ plus in school. You don't have a choice. It's one of our values, the British value. And if you refuse to do it, that will be dealt with severely. And if you say something that's derogatory or could hurt somebody else in this room, that is very serious. And it's as serious as if you were using racist language. Do not do it. Okay? That's the value, that's the approach we take in this school. And if there are people sat here who don't agree with what I'm saying, you need to go home and have a conversation with your parents and say, why are my values so different to what Britain is? Why have I got this view? Where does it come from? The only thing that you can be taken out of is sex education, and that is from when your parents speak to me and get permission. Nobody in this room has done that. LGBTQ is not sex education. That is relationships. Okay? You do not have the authority or the ability to refuse to do it. I cannot tell you how much having people not recognise who I am and openly say that they don't value who I am, because when you say I don't agree with LGBTQ people, you're saying you don't value me. I've given a lot to this world. I'm a good person. I've adopted 2 children. I've given them a fresh start. I'm a good human being. Why should I be judged based on who I choose to love? Whether you agree or not. Don't say something that's going to make me or someone like me feel less than human. Yeah? Just think on that the next time you say something. And also be aware that Miss has an obligation. If anything happens like that in this room, she has to then deal with it in a very serious way. I'm hoping you don't choose to make the right choices because of sanctions. I'm hoping you're saying, actually, I won't say it because it might hurt somebody else. Has anyone got any questions before I go? No? All right, thank you.
Now, when you compare what this man said here with the harassment and the intimidation that Christians have have had in the streets, mostly in the places like UK and the US, when any preacher stands out to say, not condemning these people, but to condemn the act and to say that that is not what the Bible says, that the Bible has a different, idea. God has a different stand on these things. They will call the police, and the police will come and get them arrested. Now, an adult came to the classroom of children to threaten them with this and to say this. And then I begin to wonder in my spirit, I begin to wonder in my heart, if a Christian who is anti-gay, goes to the classroom, and brought this topic in the opposite direction and threaten the children that if anybody should say, anything that is approval of the LGBTQ, that they will be punished severely. If anybody should say anything that will make those who are anti-gay, to feel as if they are making mistake upholding their own values, that they will be punished severely. Do you think that teacher will be let off the hook? Do you think that such teacher will actually be, clapped for? I do not think so. Now, I do not know, and it is not on record, that they have, and of course the school where this happened has not come out to issue a statement, condemning the outburst of their teacher. And what my concern is that this has been taken to the very future of our world, the very future of the family life. Now, before I delve into other things, I'd like you to also see a child who was punished and who was, sent out of school just because he wore a t-shirt that expresses his own belief.
This boy was kicked out of school. What was his offense?
I was told that people were complaining about the words on my shirt, that my shirt was making some students feel unsafe. Yes, words on a shirt made people feel unsafe. They told me that I wasn't in trouble, but it sure felt like I was. I was told that I would need to remove my shirt before I could return to class. When I nicely told them that I didn't want to do that, they called my father. Thankfully, my dad supported my decisions and came to pick me up. What did my shirt say? 5 simple words. There are only 2 genders. Nothing harmful, nothing threatening, just a statement I believe to be a fact. I have been told that my shirt was targeting a protected class. Who is this protected class? Are their feelings more important than my rights? I don't complain when I see pride flags and diversity posters hung throughout the school. Do you know why? Because others have a right to their beliefs just as I do. Not one person, staff, or student told me that they were bothered by what I was wearing. Actually, just the opposite. Several kids told me that they supported my actions and that they wanted one too. I was told that the shirt was a disruption to learning. No one got up and stormed out of class. No one burst into tears. I'm sure I would have noticed if they had. I experienced disruptions to my learning every day. Kids acting out in class are a disruption, yet nothing is done. Why do the rules apply to one yet not another? I feel like these adults were telling me that it wasn't okay for me to have an opposing view. Their arguments were weak, in my opinion. I didn't go to school that day to hurt feelings or cause trouble. I have learned a lot from this experience. I learned that a lot of other students share my view. I learned that adults don't always do the right thing or make the right decisions. I know that I have a right to wear a shirt with those 5 words. Even at 12 years old, I have my own political opinions, and I have a right to express those opinions. Even at school, this right is called the First Amendment to the Constitution. My hope in being here tonight is to bring the school committee's attention to this issue. I hope that you will speak up for the rest of us so we can express ourselves without being pulled out of class. Next time, it may not only be me. There might be more students that decide to speak out. Thank you for your time and good night.
We appreciate this young boy for speaking up and fighting for his rights. We also commend his supportive parents. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment.
Now, it becomes double standard. Now, this was a child, and the other one was an adult. The child expressed himself, and according to what you heard him brilliantly read out there, he was offending nobody, and nobody, nobody felt bad, nobody felt sad about it. But then just because he expressed himself, the adults who are proponents of this took offense, on it, and they ordered him to pull off his shirt. Now, the thing is this, there was the video I did yesterday, and I was talking about the parents becoming very, very involved, in the upbringing of their children. Now, if these things have been taken down to the schools and the parents are now, being made to look redundant, that they don't even, they are not smart enough, like this woman said here.
Whoopi Goldberg, who raised a few eyebrows using the Bible to support the idea of kids getting gender change surgeries. Take a look.
But my God, this is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going on? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear. Very clear.
Now it becomes the responsibility of the parents this time around to inculcate the right values, what they know as the right values, into their children. Now it used to be in the past that you can trust the church, you can trust the school, and then the family circle, as where children will have the right values of growth and understanding. Now the question is this: you believe that this is the life you want to live. Now, why forcing it on people? Why trying to indoctrinate children? Now, the reason is this, and I think I'm correct, that it's like the adult community have been repulsive, have been opposing. Majority of the adult community have opposed the ideas of this, and so it becomes prominent in their mind and their idea that where this will sell most is actually taking it down to the children. Now, when you listen to that man, the teacher in the classroom, who said he's a very good man and has adopted 2 children, I want to ask a question. If this agenda that is being pushed, and I want to call it conspiracy against the family, conspiracy against the ideas of God, how as it has to do with raising families. Now, if these ideas that they are pushing comes to stay, if it comes to stay, let's say that every other human being on earth, adopts this system and believes, okay, that is okay. Now, where would the children that he adopted, where would they fall into? Where would the children have come from? Because obviously, the children he adopted happen to be the byproduct of a man and a woman coming together naturally as God has ordained it in the Bible, as it is written in the Bible. Now, and the resultant effect of that union happen to be those children respectively. Now, the issue that bothers me is this. You see, you are not even allowed to express yourself. You are not even allowed to say it the way you want to say it. If you say it the way you want to say it, you are in trouble with the community. If you say it the way you want to say it, platforms like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and what have you, will come against you. They can even bring down your channel. Simply because this is the era and the time of rebellion. You remember the guy, our friend that attended the Satanic Conference 2023, when he was trying to explain the reason why he came, what Satan means to him. Satan means a very strong tool, a strong and powerful symbol of rebellion against God. He claimed he doesn't like to be told what to do. He doesn't like to be told how to live his life, not just for himself, but for someone else. He just wants to be free. And that is what, you understand here.
Well, to me, it's always been about opposition to theocracy and authoritarianism. Satan, to me, is a very powerful symbol of rebellion and anti-authoritarianism. And, that's kind of what it is to me. Obviously, everyone is here for their own reasons. But yeah, for me, I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like people telling other people what to do.
Yeah. And this is what happened. This was what took place in the Garden of Eden. When the devil came into the Garden of Eden, he inquired, has God told you, is there any form of inhibition? Has God put a kind of an embargo? Is there any limiting force, here from God to you? And the woman said, oh, well, we are free to eat every other, fruit of the trees here, but just that one. Now, just that only one that was left, the devil found a way of making the woman, desire on how to disobey God and rebel against God. Now, that is what is still being instituted in the mind of people.
There's some of these things that can't coexist. They're logically inconsistent with one another, but the only thing that holds them together is critical theory and cultural Marxism. That's it. That's the only thing that holds them together. Beyond that, some of the acronyms are mutually exclusive and almost at war with one another. But they're part of the same critical social justice movement. They're part of the same application of critical theory, part of the same application of cultural Marxism, and therefore they have the same goals, and that keeps them bonded together. Right now, we're seeing it expanded and expressed in our schools through a number of things, but perhaps most covertly through what's called SEL, or social emotional learning. And you may have heard of SEL. You may have heard of this whole social emotional learning push within the government education system. And it is the Trojan horse that right now is advancing critical theory, cultural Marxism, and specifically sexual identity Marxism among kids at every level, K through 12.
Now, it tells you one thing. You see, it is possible for somebody in Africa to say, well, it is a Western thing. I want you to understand that it is not a Western thing. The Western world has been pressurizing the leaders in Africa, pressurizing them, intimidating them, using sanctions and what have you, to hold them, to ransom in order to make this, to legalize it in this sphere of, the planet. Now, and to their credit, many of them have rejected and resisted the temptation. But make no mistake, just like you wouldn't know that there will be a Bobrisky one day in Nigeria, and there will be a James Brown one day in Nigeria. Just one day, someone who is also, within that mindset might be elected by your country, and he wouldn't need any pressure to come from that side, to come from the West. He will legalize it, and what he needs is to have some members of the parliament supporting his ideas. And do not make mistake, a lot of them in the parliament, a lot of them in politics, have begun living this life. They are living this life. Did I not show you a pastor that was said to have had, himself said with his mouth, that he has had about 20 boys? Now, so there are so many of them in politics that have started living this life, but then they are hiding it because it is not openly accepted as it has been in the West. Governments are pushing this agenda. So, don't say that you are safe, you are secured. It has not come to Africa and it will never come to Africa. Don't say never. There is nothing like never. Yesterday in that video, I said something that the parents, and I'm saying it again in this video, the parents must take their stand. The parents must get involved. The parents must, be up and doing. No parent should abdicate the duty of bringing up their children the way they should grow, to the teachers, to strangers, because you do not know the person you are handing your children over to. You do not know their orientation. You do not know what they think. You do not know what they believe. And so if you do not believe in these ideas, you do not believe in these values, that man said it was a British value, even though, yes, that the government has come and the police will arrest anybody that goes, that says anything against that. And one way or the other, he could be said to be right. But the thing is that every parent must be proactive, like this smart mother here did.
This mother took her child out of school because she said it pushed an aggressively gay-friendly agenda. For her, it's a matter of faith.
It's not anything like race or age.
People are not born gay.
I don't believe they are. If you show me a gay gene, just like if you show me any genes such as like race or something indicative that is biological, I do personally believe that there is a biological drive. But because it's not something that you can determine by science to say that somebody is gay, you cannot say, well, somebody is born gay. It's a choice.
Izzy, you explained in that report there, but can we just clarify, is it the topic itself or the age that it's being taught?
The topic itself. I don't personally believe that this is a topic that needs to be taught in school. Everything has a purpose. School's purpose is to academically teach our children. And it's got nothing to do with sexual lifestyles or desires or relationships.
But by next year, all children will be learning about relationships and families, not necessarily sex education, but relationships and families. Aren't same-sex relationships part of that conversation? Families come in all shapes and sizes.
No, families don't come in all shapes and sizes. We decide what, happens in our families, and that's the thing. Some people might say, well, this is right for me. Some people disagree with it. Don't think you should teach everything to a child just because people think it's right for them. I don't believe that there is such a thing as two mums or two dads. There isn't. Biologically, there isn't.
The truth here that everybody must know is that Satan is on an agenda. Satan is pushing out, his agenda, and there is no other agenda that Satan has other than to fight whatever God, stands for. Whatever God is for, Satan is against it. Whatever value that God stands for, the devil wants to push against it. And that is why you're having drag queens, dressed like this, like demons. And they are like this. They go to school like this to read things for children of 5 years old. And my question again is, why target children? They target children because at that age, children are vulnerable. And that when you were a child, there are so many values that you have today that were inculcated into you at a very young age. And at that age, once your spirit accepts it, it becomes very, very difficult for anybody to push you out of it. It becomes very difficult for anybody to talk you out of it.
Another blaring example, drag queen story time. It's happening in Canada and America, where some public schools and libraries invite drag queens, some dressed like horned demons, to read to young children.
And it's a social deconstructionist agenda. They're using children, little 5-year-olds, to accomplish this. And parents are waking up and saying no.
And so parents must do more. The church must arise. The church must arise. And that brings me to the issue of the schools that are owned by Pentecostal churches today. We have big, mighty churches that have good schools, but the schools cannot be afforded by their members. Now, it becomes very, very sad that the members who are supposed to be the first to be considered, when the school is being established, I'm not saying that the school has no right to take other people from outside. But if a member cannot afford to pay the tuition fees of a school of his or her church, and then is forced to take these children to a different place, then that is where the problem is. But then the church must arise and get more involved. The church must be proactive. Churches must open schools and make the fees very, very friendly and affordable. So in a nutshell, all I am saying is that the devil is out to attack the family. The devil is out to use some of his tricks. See, I can't fully express myself because what is obtained out there. But I just want you to know that this is a very big conspiracy. And when the world believe in rights of speech, freedom of speech, and you are not allowed to express yourself, once it comes to this matter, everybody is aggressive. Everybody that has anything to do with them is aggressive. And governments are aggressive. Media houses are aggressive. Then you begin to ask yourself, why? The answer I gave the other time is that the whole world is lying in wickedness. And the prince of this world is out to stop. He wants to try. He will always try. But even though I know that he cannot achieve his agenda, but the truth is that many will be taken. And the Lord help us in the name of Jesus Christ. Let me know what you think about the video in the comment section. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me to you, shalom.